Hey everybody, this is It's Cover the Insurance podcast because if you think that insurance is boring, then you're not doing it correctly. My name is Paul Lytle. I'm going to be your host today, and we're going to chat a little bit about just a constantly reoccurring theme that I see, and it doesn't matter, what aspect of insurance I'm working. I see it constantly in claims. I see it in the agency. I saw it as well. It's people who don't have the foggiest clue what they're covered for. I got a call actually just the other day from somebody who was like, "Hey, I noticed that this was on a personal injury protection claim. I noticed that you only paid $10,000 toward my medical bills, and this was actually a Lifeline claim. And if you've ever seen a Lifeline bill, they're a lot. But they were just wondering, it's like, why would only $10,000 be paid? Now, granted, in claims we try to reach people beforehand. We try to talk to them ahead of time to give them a heads up about their coverages, but it doesn't always work out, and we're not able to reach everybody. And this was a case where we had not been able to reach them before bills came in and before bills were paid. And so the answer is, you've probably already figured out, is your coverage limit is $10,000. And that thankfully turned into be a really kind of easy call. But in claims, it's like almost a daily thing where somebody is asking, well, hey, I need a rental car. Well, do you know you don't have rental coverage? No, I didn't know that. Or in a serious accident, it was like, well, what are my limits? And will this be enough? And what do you mean I don't have collision? Or one of my favorites, of course, is, what do you mean I don't have personal injury protection? I have full coverage. And we really need to stop using that phrase. But this is a recurring thing. Now, these people fall into one of, I think, three categories. First category is they're just full of it. This happens. This happens a lot. I think it's just part of the human experience that we think that if we just play dumb, we might get away with something. And it does, it actually, it has worked, of course, before, not normally with insurance, because we can't just magically add rental coverage, because you say, what do you mean I don't have rental coverage? But it does work on occasion, and so that's a thing that people do. And then if it doesn't work out for them, some people push it even farther. And then that's when they start lying about their agents and all that. And by the way, if you don't know this, your customers will throw you under the bus in a second if it means not paying for their rental car. It's incredible. I've seen customers, years and decades of loyalty will turn on their agent in a second because a rental car is online. And so there are a significant portion of people who are just full of it. Some people just are legitimately ignorant by their own fault. And those are the people who are just like, they weren't really listening, or they've just forgotten, or they keep not doing like a yearly insurance review, even though the agent is offering it. and they just, they kind of just put it aside and don't worry about it. And so through their own fault, they legitimately don't know what the coverage is. But the last category, and this is a category that should not be, but it's a lot, are people who are ignorant because no one ever talked to them about it. And when it comes to like an E&O claim, look, it's a legitimate defense that says you've gotten 5 renewals with this policy that said you didn't have rental coverage, and we put it in bold print. You don't have rental coverage. You might consider that. And that is a legitimate defense because people should be opening their mail. You and I know they don't. And so these people, a lot of times, just no one had ever discussed it with them. I got insurance quotes not terribly long ago, and it's like, look, I've been in this business for a while. I don't need, like, if somebody starts explaining the coverages to me, I will tell them, it's like, look, don't, I'm a licensed adjuster and agent. We don't need to discuss the coverages. I know what I want. I know these are my options. Some people are like, okay, let me get the information. All right, here's the quote I'm giving you, and with these particular coverages. Like, I mean, just like listing off is like, 100, 300 in bodily injury and 100 in property damage, and just going through and just reading the things and either lining them up with what I already had or just making up something that is cheaper than what I currently have. Yeah, that happens a lot. And these are like, look, I mean, I'm not going to the discount liability only insurance down the street, right? I'm trying to go with reputable companies here, but people are quoting me this. And at that point, I wonder what we think that our job as agents is if we're not even providing that service for people to actually explain to them what is covered and why. And look, there will be customers who say, don't worry about that. I just give me the best price. Okay, document that. I didn't say that, and of people who have gotten this same pitch, and maybe you've given this same pitch and not even offered, and it wasn't that they didn't want it, it's just that it never came up. And at that point, okay, we're insurance salespeople, which kind of, I mean, that is a thing, right? But I mean, even used car salesmen are supposed to tell us what's going on with the car. And so, it's, I think, like a real, like, ethical requirement on us that we know that the people we're talking to half the time don't have the foggiest clue what they're buying. They're there because the state is requiring them to get it, or their mortgage company is requiring them to insure the house, or something of that nature. It's like they're trying to get the slip of paper so when the cop pulls them over, they can go, here's my insurance. Don't arrest me. And we know that, but we as an industry still just kind of feed into it. We kind of foster it when we're like, okay, well, look, hey, good news, I can save you so many dollars a month, and not actually tell them what that means. And that's when we get the call in claims that says, what do you mean I don't have this coverage? And we have a dissatisfied customer. And this doesn't even, I mean, this is an E&O thing, but it's more than that, because like we can successfully defend an E&O and still have a customer that is justifiably angry that we didn't take that moment to explain it to him, or at least offer. There's going to be there are going to be those customers that lie. There's going to be that customers that, that said they didn't want the explanation and then come down the road. Now they're really pissed. There's not a ton that we can do about those. But and this is a theme of a lot of what I say, to insurance professionals, is let's let that be their fault instead of ours. I would rather have to deal with someone that I told and they didn't listen to me and then it bit them, than the customer that they got bit and I didn't even say anything about it. I didn't bring up anything about it. I didn't do my part of it. And so, in general, to sum things all up, not everybody's going to listen. And not everybody's going to take our advice. And not everybody is even going to want the explanation. But it is our job to bring it up, to offer, to give the information. Even if it's just in written form that they throw away later. Because when the time comes, if they don't know, if they don't know what coverages they have before it's too late, then that needs to be their fault and not yours. The difference is very possibly the level of anger of the customer, but more than that, it comes down to, are you serving your neighbor in your profession by making sure that they have the coverage they need, or they know what coverages they have and what's going to happen in the event of an accident. Because that piece of paper we sell, besides the very real peace of mind it gives and the very real, kind of get out of jail free card that we present to police when they pull us over. I have insurance. Besides those things, and that insurance card, is not worth it if that's what it provides. But at the end of the day, what we're selling is protection when that time comes. And if we've been taking their money for protection that they don't even know what protection they got, that should raise some red flags with us as an industry. So I really do appreciate you hanging out with us. As a reminder, as we're getting season 2 up and running, we are going to have a little bit of a shorter episodes, but they will be up more often. And so please do subscribe, for the podcast. Subscribe and hit the notification button in YouTube if that's where you watch us. On Facebook, like this page. Make sure that you're getting the notifications for it, especially on Facebook, because we are going to try to get out more useful information, links. Various very interesting or worthwhile images. Also some really, just random funny things, because, we work in an industry where we're just sitting around waiting for cars to ram into each other so we can come in and save the day. And we need a moment or two of humorous reflection on that sometime. So we are going to do a little bit of that too. So please do check that out. And we will see you next time.